All right. All right, we good. We live now, recording. All right, so we got Spider the Chief or the Chef. Which one?
Spotted the Chief.
Spider the
Yes.
Chief. Spider the Chief. And my name is Aaron Johnson. I got some videos and I run sheep work on YouTube. We're just gonna dialogue on why the body of Christ should go vegan, or why we should encourage the body of Christ to go vegan. Um, and yeah, it's just gonna be an open dialogue. Go through some of our testimonies. If anybody ends up having questions, if anybody jumps on live, we'll deal with the questions. So, um, right. So where you from?
From PG County, you know what I'm saying, Maryland, and Washington D.C. I'm right here in the DMV area.
Oh, okay, nice. I've been up there one time. I'm down here in Fort Myers, Florida.
Dang, I was just out in Florida. Shoot, it was a few weeks ago, a couple weeks ago. I was just down in Florida.
Where were you at?
uh, we was out there close to Disney World or whatever.
Oh,
Out in
okay,
that
yeah,
area.
Orlando.
Yeah, Orlando.
Yeah, I'm about
Yep.
3 hours from there. I
Dang.
go up there sometimes to see my brother, though.
Okay.
Yeah. Um. So, how long you been vegan? How long you been doing the vegan thing for?
Man, I'm going on 7 years. You know what I'm saying now. I started like around 2012, like in 2012. And, I started out pescatarian. So um, I was pescatarian for like 3 years, and then after that, I went ahead and cut that and went vegan. So
Right.
you know what I'm saying,
But,
how I
but
got.
before the pescatarian, you was just normal, just eating the standard American diet.
Yep, you know what I'm saying, meat, flesh in every meal, flesh breakfast, flesh lunch, flesh dinner. You know, every meal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And how I got into it, one of like all praise to the Most High, when I got you know what I'm saying, my position, got my CDL and everything, and I got a new position. I ended up meeting up with this guy named Omar. He um he like 50. When I met him, he was like 52, something like that at the time or whatever. But he was pescatarian. He was pescatarian for like 30 years. So he was like, still looking, you know what I'm saying, looking young as a mother. I'm like, dang, you ain't 52, man. You know what I'm saying? He moving around and getting it in, going hard, you know what I'm saying? Just like regular. I'm like, dang.
Right.
And every time we go to lunch, he always get like a fish sandwich. Like, cause at that time I was eating the processed stuff. I was going to McDonald's and all kinds of stuff like that. So I give me a double quarter pounder with cheese or something like
Right.
that. And then he'll get like a fish fillet sandwich or something. And then I used to always be playing around with him, like, yeah, I got this big burger right here, man. You want some of this? He's like, nah, I'm cool with my fish. You know what I'm saying? And then I told him, I said, man, one of these days I'm gonna go ahead and try being pescatarian for 40 days to see if I like it. And he was like, man, hey, try it out. That's what you feel like you want to do. Because I always really wanted to be, do vegetarian or vegan or what. I always wanted to do it, but I never knew anybody who did it. And I was
Right.
kind of like off the nervous mode of doing it. Like, dang, man, if I ain't doing it right, then something, And I'm like, man, it costs too much, and the regular stuff that everybody think like
Right.
about being a vegan. Dang, if the food costs so much, but they ain't lying though. It do cost. Because when we went to McDonald's, I'm getting that quarter pounder with cheese or a double cheeseburger. It's 99 cents for a double cheeseburger, and you look at the
Right.
salad, that's gonna be like $7, you know what I'm saying, for just a salad or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So
True.
they know what they're doing. But anyway, uh, I said I'm gonna do it for 40 days and see if I like it. And he also a barber too, so he be like, shaping my face up and all kinds of stuff like that, and
Oh,
shape me up.
okay.
So I went to his house, and he showed me like what he be getting, like the alternatives, like meat options and stuff like that. Like he had the Morning Star brands and stuff like that, and different kinds of stuff like he was eating. He had fish sticks and stuff like that. He was like, yeah, I still do seafood and all that stuff like that. And at that time, that's when I was eating I was still eating like crab meat, all kinds of stuff like that too,
Right.
and shrimp and all that, and so I was like, cool, I can do this. I was like, this ain't nothing. So no chicken, pork, beef, or turkey. I was like, all right, I'm gonna try it for 40 days. So I did it for 40 days, and I ain't never turned back. After my
Oh
40th day,
yeah.
after my 40th day, I just kept it going, and I was just pescatarian. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I just did that for a whole 3 years, and that it was cool. But the dairy, and I was eating my ice cream and the dairy and all that, and my seafood. Then that's when I got into the truth. You know what I'm saying? When I started getting into the found Christ and got into the truth and got in the scriptures or whatever, and I was like, oh dang, crabs. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, forget the crabs, forget the lobster, forget all that. You know what I'm saying? I only was sticking with the fish. So I was getting
Right.
I left the tilapia, the tilapia and all that stuff. Got rid of all that and just started messing with the straight salmon. I was eating salmon,
Mm-hmm.
tuna fish, and stuff like that. But yeah, I did that for 3 years, and then I decided to go vegan.
So you didn't. So you've been straight vegan for the 4 years, about 4 years, or was it
Yeah,
7 years?
yeah. It's about 4 years, but as far as like flesh, like minus the seafood, like poultry stuff. I'm talking about flesh free or whatever, close to 7 years. You know what I'm saying? Like as far
Right.
as
Right.
chicken, pork, beef, or turkey, and all that.
True. What's
Because
going
I
on,
was out
James?
of because I was out of shape and everything. I was overweight, man. I was out of shape and barely could run 5 miles on the treadmill. You know what I'm saying? I had bad allergies back then when I was eating meat and all that. Like, man, bad allergies.
How
And
much weight? How much weight you end up losing?
man, I lost like, hold on, let me see. And sure, I probably lost like good 80, 85 pounds, something like that, 100 pounds. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
85 pounds, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Man, I was out of shape. Like if I had like a little joint on here that I could just post up, put a picture up real quick, like boop, you know what I'm saying, so everybody can see. And yeah, but I'm glad I made that change, man. It was all praise to the Most High for guiding me in that direction, because man, just allergies bad, just
Yeah.
skin
So official allergies too a
breakdown.
little bit.
Yeah, skin, just a bunch of bumps, you know what I'm saying, man, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
But
That's
yeah,
cool.
man.
That's
So
crazy. When I like before I started going vegan, I didn't really hear it too much. Um, and like for some reason nobody told me nothing, nobody really influenced me, and I just decided I was like, man, I'm gonna try to eat just less meat. I'm just try to eat maybe meat just like 4 or 5 days out the week. And then now I probably did that for a couple weeks, and then I just like I deliver mail, so I'm always like I always listen to stuff while I'm delivering, and I was like, let me just go ahead and see what this whole vegan thing's about. And one of the first documentaries I saw was What the Health. Did you
mm-hmm.
get you got a chance, right? Yeah. So I saw that, and I was just like, I was just like, what? I'm just like confused. Like this is crazy. And I started, I just started looking more and more into it, and really for me, like the ethics part about it would definitely make me slow down because I don't think we should be abusing animals and stuff like that. But the science and like the health part about it like really converted me. I was like, oh man, yeah, no, I'm definitely not doing this. And
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, so just like a wealth of information kind of helped me transition to the vegan life, and really convinced me. And so yeah, that's kind of how it happened with me. I never really met anybody that was vegan. I never talked to nobody. I just figured I'd check it out, and the information convinced me.
Hmm. Yeah,
So,
Uh,
hey, so Aaron, you don't eat. When's the last time you ate meat?
so I had a cheat day about what was it, 2 weeks ago, probably a week and a half. But
Mm.
we went to Ruth Chris, and I had a fish, I had a sea bass. So let's see, I did probably about 9 to 10 months ago. Probably about 9 months ago is when I started to have that thinking process where I'm gonna cut out some of the meat, and then like I and then probably about a month later, a month and a half, I like really tried to get into the vegan thing. I did it for about a month, and then I had like a cheat day. Ate some meat, and this last time was my girl's fault, but no. My girl, she's been doing it with me too, but so so after that I probably went a good 3 months, and then we did like a little cheat day. We went somewhere, and actually I remember we went to, this is before I stopped eating pork and following basically the dietary laws. I went to Portillo's, and we had I had like a double bacon cheeseburger, but I couldn't even eat a quarter of that thing. I ate like a quarter of it, and I just like, I don't know, I just couldn't do it anymore. And then yeah, so from then on, so right before I ate the fish about 2 weeks ago, about a month and a half before that, I had some more fish, and then before that, it was probably about 2 to 3 months. So yeah, I haven't done like full consistent for more than like 3 months, but I definitely see the change. My girl, she's done the transition with me. We got my son doing it too, and she used to get like real shaky every now and then. I don't know why, but the doctor just told her, oh, you know, every now and then you just got to eat something. But she said ever since she's been doing the vegan thing, she hasn't felt it at all, actually. And she says she's liking it. She's feeling better. It took a little bit for her to transition, but then every now and then she likes to go out every month or so and go get some meat. Me, I really don't care. I really not. I'm not even like enticed by it at all. And so you could be right there. Like yesterday, I was out eating with my homies, and I got the Beyond Burger, and my homies had chicken wings. And you know what I mean, it doesn't even look good to me. Or I'm not saying if I ate it, of course it would taste good.
Don't look good.
I would say the only reason why I would say it doesn't look good is because of the information now that I got. So like,
yeah,
I know if I ate it, it would taste good. But I'm not like, oh man, I'm not like struggling like, man, I can't eat this, you know.
I just, man, dealing with the vegan thing or just getting off meat. My thing is, I think I would miss meat so much. Like it's my only joy, one of the few joys I have that I allow my is food, right? But we do need to eat healthier. But I need to figure out, and it's hard to find good quality produce around here where I live at, man. You got to go like to the farmer's market, and you got to know certain things are seasonal, but it's hard to find good quality produce. You didn't know where it comes from and all that stuff. And then you got to, like I said, my thing would be just trying to figure out, I would want to, I don't know if I could do it full time, man. Cause I would just have to like do a cheat day. Cause my thing is, do y'all enjoy eating? Do y'all enjoy the food and meals y'all make that are vegan? I mean, be honest.
I enjoy it.
You enjoy the taste and the flavor. It like satisfies that need, that urge. You get when you about to eat a meal.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Especially because right now I'm doing a 100-day raw vegan challenge right now. So today is day 75 of the 100-day raw vegan challenge. So I'm almost there for my 100 days. And if you don't know, raw vegan is no cooked foods, nothing cooked. So it's just straight fruits, veggies, seeds, nuts, coconut water, and that's about it. That's about it. And I'm on day 75 right now.
So you don't feel like you're just depriving yourself and every day is a struggle?
No. I mean, it's all up. See, what people don't really know is that when you're doing raw vegan, that's like the way natural our bodies really need right there is raw. That life, you putting life in your body. You know what I'm saying? It's living food. So if you putting life inside of life, it shows on the inside and out, and your body gonna thank you for it because your body ain't really working too much. It ain't breaking down like when it comes to meat stay inside your you know what I'm saying, your body for like at least like 2 days, you know what I'm saying, for real, before it's actually could come out. So a lot of people wonder why when they go to the bathroom and defecate and they come out and that joint be smelling like, you know what I'm saying, like death in that joint, you know what I'm saying, because you consuming death, you know what I'm saying, and it take a long time. It's decomposed, it's already dead, then it goes inside you, and then it's decomposing inside you even more, and it stays in there for a long time. So when you use the bathroom, you be like, dang, I need some air freshener, you know what I'm saying, like nobody can come in after you, be like, dang, you know what I'm saying, you blew that drink up. But what I noticed about being raw is that it's honestly, like no smell for real, you know what I'm saying, like no smell, like you could defecate. My kids come in the bathroom right after me, like regular, like, what, did you use the bathroom? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If you wipe or whatever, it's no you know what I'm saying, no residue like all on the toilet paper and all that. It's just clean. You know what I'm saying? Because you eating clean life foods. You know what I'm saying? That's what your body needs. You know what I'm saying? So I'm talking passionate about it because this is what I experience. This is what I know. You know what I'm saying? Like my experience.
Yeah. What I would say about the taste thing is our palates do actually change.
I was gonna say that too. Go ahead.
And honestly, like I feel like I get more flavor because you gotta like mix all these flavors for the most part to make things like taste good. You know what I'm saying? I mean, some things like some fruits you can enjoy and like and I'm like more conscious of the flavors now. And so you can enjoy just a plain apple or a plain pineapple, but sometimes like there's this thing that I've had at an Indian spot called Chana Masala, and it's just like a chickpea mix. It's got some seasonings and then tomato sauce. I mean, it's so full of flavor, and I mean, I could just eat that all day.
Yeah,
and,
you're not eating all them sugars and salts and greasy food. Your palate is going to change because that stuff overwhelms your palate, and in order to get satisfaction or taste your food, you got to eat that stuff all the time. That's why people, when they eat all that stuff, they crave it. Because I was in Iraq for a while, and I went without. We were eating MREs, and I got sick of MREs, so I just stopped basically eating. I was eating like maybe 900 calories a day and no sugar for like a month. And I remember I took a bite out of an orange, my mouth almost caved in on itself. Because you really do. You start it's almost like it heightens your taste buds, and every little subtle nuance in the flavor you do pick up. It's just hard to get through that first couple weeks, man. I would say, going straight no meat. Like I said, I told Aaron I went no meat for 1 week, man. It was hurting me. I could tell my mind, and it was just different. You just have to it's like your body doesn't want to let go of that stuff, so it's gonna make you feel bad. But
it's what you're used to, so that's what we all been brought up on, our family, when we was babies or growing up, that's all we was, what our body used to. So it's gonna take some time for you to get used to it. It's like if fasting, like if water fasting or whatever, if you do like a 3-day water fast, nothing but water, the first day you're gonna feel like you're gonna be like, dang, I'm hungry. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm sipping this water, drinking this water, but I want to eat. The second day come, it's like I'm hungry, but I'm all right, sipping some water. When the third day hit, you be like, I'm not even hungry. Your body be like, you be like, I ain't even hungry. For real, you be like, I ain't even hungry. I'm good. And the energy do it. You know what I'm saying? Because the highest water fast I ever did was 8 days, just straight water. You know what I'm saying? Nothing else. And yeah, the energy just come. You be like, dang, I'm energetic like a mug. And then your mind and everything just clarity. You just feel at bliss. I can't explain it.
No, I believe it because the Bible talks about fasting for a reason. It's a form of humility, but it also, I think, it benefits your body as well. It clears your mind. You get all that stuff. And we got to understand the ancient world, they weren't sitting around, unless you were stupid rich, you wasn't sitting around chomping on meat all the time anyway. That was like special occasions. They weren't eating that stuff like we do today.
Yeah, true.
I definitely got to change my diet, man, because I work out, you know what I'm saying? I run 2 or 3 miles every other day, and I don't lose no weight because of the food I eat. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, dude, I got to do something because this is just, it's getting ridiculous. But the diet's got to change. We do have to change. I do personally. I know I do, because I even used to do in the mornings for breakfast, I would take, you know, some almond milk, bunch of spinach, like a whole bag of spinach and maybe a banana, and that joker would clean you out in the morning. But I felt good. I wasn't hungry till about 1 o'clock, but I stopped doing that, man, and got it back into eating the fast food every once in a while. That fast food is deadly. Just the taste, because that's all you want sometimes, man. You know it's horrible. Before you eat it, you get a headache.
Yeah.
I eat greasy food, man. You can just tell.
They there's this Dr. Furman or Furham. He actually has a video on something called toxic hunger, and he basically explains kind of how our stomach has 2 sensors, and one senses kind of like the volume, and then one senses the nutrient. And what happens is you get a lot of the volume, but you don't get the nutrient. So when people are eating a lot of junky food, at least, like if you're eating healthy, even if you like eat a little meat here or there and you're eating healthy, this probably won't happen. So I'm not saying it's a meat thing, but when somebody has like a bad diet, they actually are more hungry all the time, and it hurts them more. And it's because they're like filling their body up, but they're not getting the nutrients. So their body's like signaling for the nutrients more often, you know what I mean? And you're only filling it up. So he was explaining how when you eat like the fruits and vegetables, how it's low calorie, and then you fill up your body, but you also get all the nutrients. So your hunger is like a lot more maintained. And I've noticed that when I've noticed 2 things by delivering mail, or at least one of them is that directly affecting when, like, me getting as hot as I used to, or even sweating as much. Like I feel a lot more hydrated now, and then my hunger, like I don't know what it was, but my stomach would like almost hurt. Like I would have this feeling in my stomach. It would just be like a strong hungry feeling. And like I don't never get that. I like almost never get that anymore. And I could definitely see the change in how long my body is like maintaining the food. Because what was it yesterday? All I had was green tea in the morning, and then I ate rice and beans with cilantro and onion. I was full, so I had green tea around 8, and then I had the rice and beans probably around 11. And I wasn't, for some reason, it had me full till like 4 o'clock. And I was like, dang, I'm not even really hungry. And then,
so how many calories would how do y'all intake? Like, how many calories would you intake a day? Do y'all still do the 2,000 plus calories a day through?
One of the first things I did when I was doing the vegan things, I downloaded an app called Chronometer, and you'll type in all your food, and then it'll tell you the breakdown of the nutrients, and then you put in your weight and all that too, and then it kind of tells you like what you want to hit as far as the calories. And I think mine was at like 21 or 2,200.
Yeah, that's what I be getting at. Like probably sometimes 2,000, sometimes a little less. Sometimes it depends. Because I just know when I make my smoothies or whatever, my smoothies consist of like 10 bananas and like
Dang.
a thing of strawberries, and then I add I get a raw vegan protein powder that I add to it, and I add that in there. Then I add some hemp seeds, some chia seeds. I add a whole avocado in there with some I'll probably get I'll probably make some almond milk or something like that. Or if I have whatever almond milk I have, I put some almond milk in there, blend it all up together, and it'd be up there close to like 1,200, say 2,000 calories or whatever.
So you knock that out in one sitting. That's like a meal.
Yeah, that's a meal. I finished that up.
And bananas. in a meal.
Yeah, you see, look, I just right here.
I saw your blender,
Yeah,
but
you
I
see
was
this?
just thinking maybe that was an all day thing. I didn't think that was a
Yeah.
one shot thing.
Nah, it's 72 ounces. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I just punished that. That's my dinner right there. Cause I went out for a 3-mile run. When I got off from work or whatever, ran 3 miles or whatever. Then I came back and made my smoothie, and I was sipping on that. Take me like an hour. You know what I'm saying? Or something like that, hour and a half to finish it. But
Right. Now you talking. Now this is how many calories you get on the raw vegan diet. Now, how do you eat when you're just doing the regular vegan diet?
well, I intermittent fast, so so I do intermittent fasting. So I like my first meal is at like 12 in the evening, 11 or 12 and 11 or 12 in the evening. And then I had that window, a little 8-hour window to eat or whatever. So I probably get the meal in around 12, and then my last meal would be like around 6:30 or something like that. I try not to eat after 7 for real, you know what I'm saying, if I don't have to.
So when you say intermittent
fasting, yeah,
you're talking about you eat around lunchtime and then at 6:30. Is that what you said?
Now, yeah, my first meal is at like 11 or 12. And then in my last meal, I ended around like 6:30 or whatever. That's when I'll be finishing my last meal up for the day. And then I don't eat no more until the next day around 12 or 11. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so that's giving you like what, 12?
That's like 16 hours. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, 16 hours of nothing for real.
And you do that on the regular?
Yeah, on a regular. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah, I do that on a regular, and then some. That's my main regular routine. But sometimes if I be like in the studio working or something, I'll be late or whatever, or if my eating window just get all crazy, then I just whatever, But then I get back on track or whatever, and just intermittent fasting.
So how long have you been eating like this?
Well, as far as intermittent fasting or as far as being like vegan or non-meat?
Well, vegan and like when you started doing this, how long did it take you to get to the I don't know how, say the word again.
Intermittent fasting.
Intermittent fasting, yeah. Because I mean, did you start out like when you decided to go vegan? You obviously were overweight, right? That's what you said.
Yeah. I was overweight when I first started, but I started out pescatarian. And pescatarian, you were saying don't eat no chicken, pork, beef, or turkey, but still eat like seafood. Fish. And seafood, and still eat dairy and all kinds of stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I did that for like 3 years, and then I started experimenting with like fasting, like water fasting and stuff like that. So when I first started with the water fasting, it's like now when I fast, it's no problem. It's no problem now because I can dry fast too. But I'll talk about that in a few though. But when I first started out with the water fasting, it used to be kind of crucial because my body was so used to the meat and all that stuff I was eating and all, the processed stuff that I was eating and all stuff like that. So you get the detox symptoms. And that's why some people don't like fasting because they be like, man, I got a headache. I can't fast because I be getting headaches and I be, feeling sick and stuff like that. That's just symptoms. If you just let that go through and you just stick through and, endure through it, they'll go away. You know what I'm saying? Your body, that's your body detoxing for real when you have them detox symptoms. Once that clear up, you be all right. You be like, all right, okay, I made it through that. No headache and nothing like that. So I had to start out slow. When I first started, I'd be like, man, I went hard when I first started. I did like a 3-day water fast just off break, like my first joint, just to do it. And I noticed the detox symptoms, and I got that's when I got weak. You know what I'm saying? Like I got weak mud. I could do push-ups at first, but then by the 3rd day, when I barely could do a push-up, I was like, dang, oh snap. I said, hold up, you know what I'm saying? But it was the detox. It was the detox symptoms, you know what I'm saying? And then I went too fast, you know what I'm saying? Because you ain't supposed to go that fast, you know what I'm saying? You're supposed to start out slow with it, like at least try not eating for 12-hour fast, like almost like when you go to the checkup, your physical or something like that. And they be like, just make sure you fast, don't eat nothing for 12 hours, whatever. Start out with that, and then go from that to like a 24-hour drink, you know what I'm saying, with just nothing but water for 24 hours. And then eat the next day or whatever. And then from that, you do that once a week or once every 2 weeks, just a 24 hours. And then you keep on gradually just building yourself up. So now I'm to the point where I can dry fast now for like days now. Like in a dry, it's two types of dry fast. You know what I'm saying? You got a soft dry fast and you got a hard dry fast. You know, so I did a soft dry fast for like 6 days or whatever, and that's when you can get in contact with water, because a dry fast is no food, no water. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't drinking
So
nothing.
what's the difference between soft and hard fast? What's the difference?
The soft dry fast is, you know what I'm saying, it's no food, no water, but you can still like take showers and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Wash your hands, do stuff like that. A hard dry fast is you ain't in contact with no water. You know what I'm saying? Like period.
Why would you? What benefits would you get from not coming into contact with water on your skin?
Because you know, our skin is like our biggest organ for real. You know what I'm saying? And our skin absorb a lot of, you know, it absorbs the water, like especially when you ain't drinking nothing or eating nothing and you take a shower, your skin going to absorb some of the water. You know what I'm saying? It's going to absorb it or whatever, and it's going to get it. You know, and so if you do a hard one, you don't be in contact with no water. But I did a soft dry fast, so I still took showers and stuff like that.
So what is that? I mean, but what's the benefits to your body? What are you trying to do?
When you do a dry fast, man, a dry fast is like the best to me. It's like the best fast that you could do, because one, you letting your body is on super healing mode. It's like it's resting. It's not worrying about digesting no food, nothing like that. It's killing all the dead cells, like the cells that's like the ones that's the weak cells in your body, and white blood cells, the weak cells, they die. You know what I'm saying? They die off. They kill them and then rebuild brand new fresh cells. You know what I'm saying? That's going to build your immune system up and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? So, and the shocking part about it is that our body, you know what I'm saying, our body absorbs the water. We still got a lot of water in our body. You know what I'm saying? You know, our body is water. You know what I'm saying? So, so it still was going. I was like, man, I was shocked, like how long I went, and I wasn't even hungry, nothing like that, and I was just regular, still strength and everything. I'm doing pull-ups, still getting my workouts in, you know what I'm saying, and everything. And it was just all good. Just got into some sun. Your skin absorbed the sun, you know, and you breathing in the fresh air. Your skin take the air and man, it's just beautiful, man. I can't even explain it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are like, Dad, that's crazy. You draft it. I can't go 12 hours without, you know what I'm saying, no food or no water. You know what I'm saying? But really,
I've never done that.
Our bodies are natural healers. You know what I'm saying? For our bodies does everything. The Most High bless us with strong, healthy vehicles. You know what I'm saying? The vehicles that can heal itself, man. You know what I'm saying? And all we got to do is get out the way and let it do what it got to do. You know what I'm saying? So when you fasting, that's you getting out the way, and then your body heal. You lay down, you rest. Your body going the blood that it take to digest food, it be going to different places in your body, different organs that really need help, different repairing your skin. You know what I'm saying? Your hair, your eyes, everything. So
right,
yeah, man, it's real.
I'm gonna read a scripture, and just let y'all know I got my Christian vegan shirt on. I don't rock with the cross no more, but this is an old shirt, but it's good. We got the Christian.
It's all great. It's all love.
All right, so all right, give me one second. I gotta send my aunt's number. I sent her the wrong number.
So where do y'all do most of your shopping at?
I go to I got a spot in my area, Mom's Organic. I do shopping there. I go to spot Wegmans. I go to Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, Safeway, Shoppers, Giant.
So I mean, how do you when you deal with the organic stuff? How do you know it's really organic? I mean,
you don't. I know a farmer who actually farms and also like that. He said, man, a lot of people think a lot of that stuff be organic for real, but really it's not. It don't really be organic, you know, because it's kind of he said it's kind of hard to like do like organic stuff like that, especially with the population and everybody, right. yeah, the production and everything like that. So he said, man, people they can say it's organic, but most of the time it's not really organic. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, well,
You know, when actually I get people that bring that up a lot. Actually, they're like, oh well, your vegetables have the pesticides and stuff like that on. Well, for honestly, the animals that are eating, I mean, the animals that people are eating way more this crops than we are, and they're definitely spraying their crops, and they're you know, I mean, and some of them are like getting GMO, and so I would still say um it's still safer, and I think we're still getting a lot less of the damage because, you know, again, the cows and all that, they're eating a lot more of the feed, and at least according to Dr. Greger, he says he's a vegan doctor, and he's basically saying if you can get organic, yeah, you want to get organic, but the benefits still outweigh the risk of getting just kind of conventional produce.
Yep, real talk. Yep, real talk.
What's some vegetables that y'all avoid? As far as I've heard things about corn, I've heard things about other things that are just they're basically just go through your system. They don't really do any, you know, you're not pulling anything from them. Do y'all avoid any vegetables?
Well, you know, so as far as corn go, I don't really eat corn. Yeah, I don't really eat no corn.
What about potatoes and all that stuff?
Well, when I'm on see right now, it's like my mind's in the 100-day raw vegan challenge. Right now I ain't doing no potatoes like that, but when I do eat my cooked vegan foods like that, I get like a sweet potato or something, you know, a baked sweet potato.
Oh, okay. Since you doing the raw uncooked stuff, you wouldn't mess with potatoes anyway, right?
I wouldn't mess with it. I ain't have that. So yeah, but a lot of people, as far as this vegan thing go, a lot of people always they be afraid to do it or try it or whatever. They be like, man, I don't know, man. Where you get your protein from? Where you know what I'm saying? That's the main one there. Everybody always say, like, where you get your protein? I be like, man, I get my protein from the leafy greens and the fruits. Right. I be like, you look at an elephant or you look at a gorilla, they vegetarians. You know what I'm saying? They strong. That's horse vegetarian.
I think the biggest thing is inconvenience, man, because it's hard to find and just not being educated and it doesn't seem practical to people because you really got to take the time to think it through and prepare your meals and go out and get this stuff, and people don't know how to use vegetables in that way, you know what I'm saying, to create a meal. They feel like they're gonna be deprived or something, or they ain't gonna be satisfied. I know that's kind of the way I think.
Oh, yeah. You're right. You know what I'm saying? Like this raw vegan thing right here. I just know the Most High, He prepared everything just right. You know what I'm saying? Like everything's cooked just right by the sun, and like you get a bell pepper, red bell pepper, chop. You know what I'm saying? Get some spinach leaves, put that in your bowl. Get a red bell pepper, chop it up on top of that. Get a tomato, cut that up on top of that. Get an avocado, cut it up in there, mix it all together. You know what I'm saying? And sprinkle some herbs on there, some Himalayan sea salt or something.
Sound like some guacamole, man. Sound like some guacamole.
yeah. You know what I'm saying? You eat that's a meal. That's a meal right there. You know what I'm saying? It's not to it. You like a meal for a raw vegan. Like since I'm on the challenge here, could be for me. I give me like 4 mangoes and 2 avocados or something like that, or 1 avocado and 4 mangoes. That'd be a meal. Or a watermelon. Chop a whole watermelon in half, eat 1/2, and then eat the other half. That's a meal. You know, it's simple. Everything's simple for real. But you know, everybody used to having like that meal with the meat on the whole big slab of meat on the plate, a little small thing of vegetables, and then a starch, like mashed potatoes or something like that. That's what the plate looks like. But if you reverse that, you can still. I don't recommend. I don't eat meat or whatever. But if you do eat meat, have a smaller portion of meat and more veggies. You know what I'm saying? You could take away the starch for real. You know what I'm saying? You could just have more veggies in a small piece of meat or whatever. You be great.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yeah. What's up, Kev?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? Just listening in. This is a great conversation because, like, when y'all talking about organic, like that's how I eat. I'm not a vegan, but every time I go buy groceries, or if my wife, if she go buy groceries, like we always strive to, make sure our vegetables are organic. Most of our meals be vegetable based, with meat maybe like once a week, maybe twice a week. But I wanted to ask you guys, as vegans, I know there's different philosophies, and there's some who will feel like they'll kind of take it the ethical route, and they'll start talking about how, like, it's essentially wrong to be killing the animals, and they'll get into a lot of the science. But as Christians, I wanted to ask y'all if y'all deal with the ethical aspect of this, and if so, how do you reconcile that with God providing meat for the priest to eat after a sacrifice?
All right, I'll let me start with a scripture. So in Genesis 1:29, it says, "Then God said, I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth, and every tree that has fruit with seed in it, they will be yours for food." Now, when we look in Genesis, it seems like the Eden is vegan, and it seems like you actually weren't able to eat meat, or God didn't even suggest it until after the fall. So it seems like God's ideal for us was a plant-based diet. Now, when it comes to so I would liken that to kind of when Christ gave the example of the divorce. He was telling them, when the Pharisees asked him, why did Moses give a certificate of divorce? And Christ said, well, it wasn't this way from the beginning, but because your hearts were hard, God allowed that. And so what that's so I call that kind of being under God's compromise and not under his intention. So his intention was, go ahead.
No, go ahead, man. My bad. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Okay. So God's intention was for people for us to stay married as one, but he, out of his compromise or out of his mercy, he allowed for divorce. So I think the same thing kind of happened with Eden, but God really wanted us to, same thing with animals. They were given the plants as well to eat, and I think that God intended that way for us, and he just allowed us, or the eating meat was like a result of, or part of the fall. I wouldn't say it's a result. And then lastly, we have I have all the scriptures too, but I only do one more, where it says in Isaiah 32, believe it's 18 through 20, says, "My people live in peaceful dwelling places, in secure homes, and undisturbed places of rest. Though hail flattens the forest and the city is leveled completely, how blessed you will be. Sow in your seed by every stream, and let in your cattle and donkeys range free." Now, when I go out and read the whole scripture, I believe this is talking about the millennial reign, and we also know that the millennial reign speaks of the diet change of even the lions. So it seems like it's actually going to go back to a more plant-based diet. Now, as for the sacrifices, we see that as a teaching tool. That's the teaching tool in the history of the Israelites, and we see it as a teaching tool in the millennial reign. So I still think.
A couple of things.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
My fault.
No, you're good. Actually, I'm done.
Nah, go ahead, man. Nah. Finish your point, man. Finish your point.
All right. Well, the last thing I was going to say is, and the last thing I was going to say is, so the sacrificial thing and the killing of animals was a temporary thing, and it was more of a, I don't want to say it was a compromise type of thing, because God was using it for a reason, but I don't think that was his intention, because I believe that he loves the animals in all creation. So yeah, that's all I got right now.
Cool. Now, a couple of things. First, I fully see the value of eating, if not an entirely plant-based diet, mostly plant-based diet. So the pushback that you'll get from me over the next several minutes is not because I'm stuck on meat, because I'm not. You know, like I told you before, like I'd say 80 to 90% of my diet is plant-based. But I think when vegans, especially Christian vegans, y'all run into trouble when you try to tie in this ethical stuff, because it's just not biblically accurate. Like, as I'm listening to you speak, Aaron, you're telling me about a lot of things that just can't be found in the scripture. You're connecting in the beginning of Genesis and a plant-based diet with the divorce decree. But the problem with that logic is Jesus told us specifically in scripture what the purpose of marriage was, and he clarified the divorce law as stated in Deuteronomy. We don't find such a clarification when it comes to a plant-based diet. Another 2 points. One, if you're gonna talk about the sacrifices being a teaching tool, I would agree. But we have clear scripture that talked about like in Leviticus chapter 3, verse 16, I'll read this. It says, the priest shall offer them up in smoke on the altar as food, referring to the the meat that was used for the peace offerings. And it says, an offering by fire for a soothing aroma, all fat is the Lord's. It is a perpetual. Actually, my fault. I went to 16. I backed up a little bit. It says the priest shall offer them up in smoke on the altar as food. So that we can read that in the scripture, that the intention, at least in part, of the peace offering was that meat would be used, like actual meat from an animal. Not meat as in food in general, but meat from an animal was to be the Levites' food. Now, you mentioned also the millennial reign. Here's another scripture that shows up in the millennial reign. This is Zechariah chapter 14. And let me get here. So it says this. This is Zechariah chapter 14, and this is a scenario that is going to take place in the millennial reign. Zechariah chapter 14, verse 20. It says, in that day I'll start in verse 19. This will be the punishment of Egypt and the punishment of all the nations who do not go up to celebrate the Feast of Booths, because we know, like, during this time, all nations are going to be required to celebrate the Feast of Tabernacles, and there's going to be punishment laid upon a nation that chooses not to come up to Jerusalem to keep it. Verse 20 of Zechariah 14. In that day there will be inscribed on the bells of the horses, holy to the Lord. And the cooking pots in the Lord's house will be like the bowls before the altar. Every cooking pot in Jerusalem and in Judah will be holy to the Lord of hosts, and all who sacrifice will come and take of them and boil in them. And there will no longer be a Canaanite in the house of the Lord in that day. So we see even in the millennial kingdom that there's going to be meat from the sacrifices that is going to be boiled and cooked for the purposes of food. So that's just, I wanted to bring that out real quick. And I get what y'all saying. And again, like I said, I'm with y'all when it comes to the importance of the vegan diet. But I think we're going to run into trouble as Christians if we try to make this a biblical matter.
So I feel what you're saying on that. You know what I'm saying? On my end, when it comes to like being vegan or anything like that, me, it's not really about because the meat at that point in time is way different from what it is today. You know what I'm saying? Back then,
I agree with that.
They didn't like shoot the animals up with like steroids and antibiotics and all that stuff to make them fatter, so they can get rid of more and all kinds of stuff like that. So they treated their flock, well. They made sure they was good because they knew that their families and everybody had to eat and live. You know what I'm saying? So nowadays, the time we living in now, we worrying that they shooting all kinds of stuff up in the animals. You're killing them, and then the adrenaline from the animal gets stored in their flesh, and then when we eat them, you know what I'm saying, we wonder why a lot of people be going like having anger issues and anxiety and all kinds of different things or whatever, because what they do to the animal, it gets stored in their flesh. It's real, you know what I'm saying? And I notice the difference. You know, when I'm around like you know, so this is from my point of view. Like, you know, when I'm around like other vegans or whatever, it's like spirit recognize spirit. You know what I'm saying? You can just feel the vibe. I don't know. It's like a chill vibe, like for some reason. I don't know. And then when I'm around like someone who eats like a lot of meat, like, you know what I'm saying, that's their main thing. Like, yeah, man, I gotta make sure I'm getting these burgers and blah 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 and steaks, man. I love it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of different. You know what I'm saying? Like anger. Like I could just, it's just they be mad all the time. To be feeling some type of way, or you know what I'm saying? It's just be different. But everybody got different emotions. You know what I'm saying? If you understand what I'm saying, it's just it's hard to explain, but I could feel it.
Nah,
you know what I'm saying?
I agree with you.
Let me clarify something real quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm listening. Go ahead.
All right, yeah. Let me clarify something real quick. I'm sorry. All right. So the first thing is, I do believe that we cannot say it's a sin to eat meat.
It's not.
It's not a sin. But now when we say, that's why I try to word the conversation, should we encourage the body of Christ to go vegan? Now the vegan definition, or the definition of vegan, according to the Vegan Society, veganism is a way of living which seeks to exclude as far as possible and practicable all forms of exploitation, cruelty to animals for food, clothing, or any purpose. So, so the main thing is, it's not a sin to eat meat. I have to acknowledge that as a Christian. But when it comes to the practicality and the possibility of reducing exploitation, cruelty, and the clothing and other etc. I think we need to encourage the body of Christ to lean more towards this way, and we'll dive more into the ethics a little bit, and we'll dive into some of the science and even a little bit more scripture. But I just wanted to clarify that real quick, and then, but yeah, go ahead, Kev.
When it comes to when I say meat now, I mean, as far as scripture wise, meat to me is just like is the fruits and the vegetables and stuff. That's the meat, like what it was stated in Genesis or whatever. I know it ain't it's definitely not no sin to eat that meat. You know what I'm saying? But killing
Yeah, but it also says like, because you're right, the word meat is used in general for food, which obviously could improve, which could include fruits and vegetables. But there's also meat from a cattle that the Bible talks about, you know, as food as well. But to Aaron's point, I hear what you say.
Flesh. Yeah, they call it.
Yeah,
they call it flesh too. Yeah.
Right, but whether we call it food or flesh, it's both. Both terms are used for consumption in the Bible. So you can have meat, that you can have flesh that comes from a cattle, and the priests were obligated to eat that flesh, which is eating. Just like if you were eating fruit off of a tree, that's eating. It's still the same concept. But Aaron, I want to go back to something you said. I agree with you, right? If we're talking about, and especially, brother, what's your name? With the dreads, what's your name?
Oh, Spider.
Spider, yeah. So I agree with both of y'all. What both of y'all said. Spider, you said that the meat today, they mistreat the animals, you know, and back in biblical times, you know, that wasn't going on. I 100% agree with that. So if that's the angle that y'all are taking, like, and Aaron, this is going back to you. If the angle that y'all are taking is, hey, listen, as Christians, we should encourage other Christians to be more plant-based, if not 100% plant-based, due to how the animals today are treated. I'm 100% behind that ideology, right? But I just wasn't sure if, because when you brought the definition for vegan, Aaron, I wasn't sure, and clarify if you would, but do they regard the slaying, the humane, because, you know, there's a humane way to slay animals as well. You can't be strangling them, and because the stress will release the toxin into the meat, which obviously will make it worse than it actually should be. But if you slay the animal in a humane way, does the Vegan Society have a problem with that killing, or is it that they just have a problem with killing an animal in an improper way?
This would actually kind of go hand in hand with the other point I would make is, and why I'd actually encourage people to do 100% plant-based, is because they would say that even, well, for one, they wouldn't even say that there's a humane way to do a killing, but they would also say that even if there was, you don't need it. We're living in 2019 America where we can thrive, if not do better, off of a plant-based diet. So they're going to use that kind of argument.
Yeah, see.
Yeah, and like I said, I think from a practicality standpoint, being vegan makes a lot of sense. I was really only coming at it from in the event, we're trying to make eating meat a sin. And you guys have already clarified your position. You're not saying that. You're just saying, hey, listen, like, given the fact that we live in 2019, given the fact that a lot of animals are mistreated, we might consider, or it might be beneficial to us, or if not, it should be beneficial to us to consider a vegan diet. So I hear what y'all saying. I agree.
Right.
Yeah.
And, one of the things I did struggle with when I was diving into the health and to the science, and that's I wonder what you think about Genesis 29 and Eden being vegan, is because I used before I actually found that out, that gave me some comfort. I was like, I'm just kind of thinking like, man, why wouldn't God encourage a plant-based diet, and why would he even encourage the meat consumption when I believe that God made science, and he made our bodies perform the way that they do. And when you have high animal protein intake, that can mess up your pancreas, it can mess up your liver, and it's just not good for your body. So when so one thing that gave me some comfort was I saw Eden as vegan. So I'm just like, so to me, I'm like, oh, okay, well, there's still a hint of some sort of plant-based there, and God's intentions was all in the plants. And we see, and when you look at plants are very powerful. And I'm not saying you would disagree, but plants are a very powerful thing, and meat just isn't that. I mean, meat just it just isn't as nutrient, or it has nutrients, but it's not as nutrient dense as animal foods, and it doesn't really have the healing properties that plants have. So but yeah, so what would you think about Eden being vegan?
Can you repeat that last part, Aaron? I didn't hear you. You cut out.
What would you think about Eden being vegan?
I would 100% agree with it. You see what I'm saying? Like, Here's the thing. You are 100% right when you say that if we're talking about being healthy, I fully believe the number one reason why we're not healthy as Americans is because we don't eat enough plants, is because we don't eat enough fruits. You see what I'm saying? And vegetables. That's fact. You're absolutely right about that, right? And I would even argue that, or I should say argue, I would agree with you that Eden was vegan. My only point is just because Eden was vegan, and that might have been the way, because again, we don't know for sure, so we're just speculating. But I think it's a sound speculation. My only argument is just because Eden might have been vegan doesn't mean that eating meat is wrong or problematic in and of itself because of the scriptures that I read. Especially when we get to the millennial kingdom. If eating meat was only because of the fall, then we shouldn't see the eating of meat within temple boundaries, or not temple boundaries, but we shouldn't see the presence of meat being cooked and eat in a time period when sin is minimized and Jesus Christ is on the scene. So that was kind of my only point. But like I said, as far as all the science is concerned, and there's no argument. You're not going to get an argument from me and say, well, meat has all the healing properties as fruits and vegetables. That's an outright lie, because it doesn't. You're absolutely right.
That's why, at the beginning, like in Genesis, in the garden, Eve, everything, it was no killing. It was it was life. You know what I'm saying? It was just eternal, just life, no death.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that should let you know right there at the beginning that everyone had to be vegan at that time. It was you wasn't killing no animals. It wasn't no killing. It was life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But when the fall happened and they got kicked out, then they can die. That's when the death, you know what I'm saying? That's when they was able to die. You know what I'm saying? That's when death, the scene hit. You know what I'm saying? Like everything can die. You know what I'm saying? They can die. You know what I'm saying? Now, you know what I'm saying? So it got to the point, you know, it was when the children of Israel, they had the Most High as their God, their power, but they turned it. They wanted a king, a human king. They wanted a king for real. They was like, please, we want a king, and the Most High is the Most High power, king of all. But they wanted a king, so the Most High said, okay, all right, I give y'all a king, and gave them Saul. You know what I'm saying? And he wasn't, you know, he was a king, but he wasn't all that. You know, you just see through the whole Bible, you just see death, 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 death. At the beginning, it was life. You know what I'm saying? It was nothing but life before the fall. So that's what when the meat thing comes, when you killing the animals and you killing them, so that means they dead. So when you consuming them, you consuming death. You putting death inside of your vessel. You know what I'm saying? Which stays in your vessel for a long period of time than what was naturally for our vessels. You know what I'm saying? The fruits and vegetables. So basically, if you cut out, if we all cut out meat and just straight went fruits and veggies and seeds and nuts, it's just natural. You know, you won't be hearing nobody talking about, oh yeah, man, I gotta take these pills for my high blood pressure. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, I gotta take these insulin shots for these diabetes, man. You know what I'm saying? Or you know, you won't hear none of that, because the natural stuff that our bodies could, when we consume life and put it in our body know just what to do with it. Just what to do with it. Just where to put every nutrient, everything for our body. Just know just what to do with it. Perfect. You know what I'm saying? The Most High created it perfect.
You made Spider. You made an excellent point, which is going to cause me to revise my statement, because I made the claim that, and Aaron, I think this is where you were going with it, Aaron, but I made the claim like, well, we don't know if Eden was vegan or not, and you're absolutely right. Like, wait a minute, Kev, in Eden there was no killing, so Eden 100% had to be vegan. So I stand corrected on that front, no doubt. I guess my question is, going back to what you said, Spider, when you were like, well, eating meat is death. How do you reconcile God telling the priesthood to eat meat if meat is death? Like, why would he command them to eat something that is death and harmful to them?
No, because, you know, after the fall, all the, you know, the generations, that's what they used to. They asked, like I said, remember when I said that they asked the Most High for a king. The Most High gave it to them. You know what I'm saying? They was eating that way. So
but what he told the Levites to do. But what he told the Levites to do was before that. It was before that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
It was before that.
It wasn't before. It wasn't before the fall.
Nah, but see, what you guys are doing is you're trying to connect eating meat with the fall, and I'm just not seeing that in the scriptures. That's a speculation and a jump that y'all make.
Yeah, and I want to comment real quick, because I think the point that Kevin's trying to make is when we try to what y'all are talking about is healthier. It is a positive thing, but when you try to tie it into scripture completely, and you're going like, because we got to reconcile that they had the tree of life in the garden. The fruits and vegetables were probably different than they are now. And you're right about death coming into the world, you know, after the fall. But God presented them with that food. He was like, this is food for you. And we see it, you know, commanding the priests to eat the sacrifices. We can definitely read that in the millennium reign. So you got to kind of reconcile the fact. Go ahead.
No, you're right. No, I'm saying you right about that part. My main thing is, that's why I don't really get all in deep into it, like trying to connect stuff with scriptures and like that. I just look at the straight, like the facts. Like if at the beginning in the garden, if it was, you know, say it was life, no killing, no death, you know what I'm saying, they had to be vegan. That's my main, that's what I stick with.
And I could argue, Spider, that the reason that God gave the meat was because now they're not eating those fruits and vegetables in the garden, the tree of life. They're not partaking of that. So maybe the animals were given because they needed that sustenance. They needed that little extra. You know, there has to be a reason why. Because if they had everything they needed, you know, it's all speculation because the animals were being killed as a sacrifice. Maybe he didn't want them to waste the animals. You know what I'm saying? Just killing them, you know, and not partaking of the meat would be kind of wasteful. So I mean, it's just.
I mean, I understand what you're saying. It's just like, for instance, if you think about it, it's just like if when it's the cold weather, like back then before we had all the stuff we have now, ovens and all stuff like that, and it's cold weather, you got to eat somehow. So it's meat there, so you're gonna have to go out and kill the animal just to eat, to survive. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, of course, you won't have to do that. You know
circumstances. And I totally agree. Just today, we just eat stuff we just don't need to be eating. We consume things, we damage our bodies through, you know, ignorance and just through just wanting to eat certain foods. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, but that's all I had to say.
It's just you know, how I look at it, it's just health. I look at health as wealth. I look at the results of what different things is. I just look at how you know, I just go by experience, my experience, and I can only just I don't be bashing nobody. I'm not the type to be out. Oh, you know what I'm saying, that's messed up. You know what I'm saying, you doing this, stop doing that, this, that, that. I'm not gonna come at nobody like that. I'm just gonna eat. You know what I'm saying, I'm just gonna eat life, do what I do, and you know, and if anybody want to try it or if they interested in it or whatever, I can give them some tips. And if they try it out, and if they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. You know,
I'm actually interested in it. I think the point that Kevin was just trying to get clarity on was because we see the Most High providing this food to them, and we see it still doing in the Millennium Reign, and there is a lot of stuff that's restored in the Millennium Reign. So what I'm saying is I don't think God would purposely be damaging his priests. You see what I'm saying? Like purpose.
Yeah, I see that like back to the thing what I said at that time. Yeah. The meat and everything wasn't like today. That's why I'm talking about today. Yeah. Today's time, all them antibiotics and
so you're better off. You're absolutely right. You're probably better off avoiding them today, just for that very reason right there. We can't get the pure animals. We got all these chemicals and modified hormones and all this stuff in our food. So the benefits, I agree with y'all, man. The benefits are probably way outweigh anything else. I think the point Kevin was trying to bring up was just the scripture going.
I feel that.
There's no need to try to go into scripture to prove your point because it's evident, you know, just in common sense. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So when we're done with the Levitical priesthood, because the same thing that would make me question why would God tell them to eat that? Because science clearly proves that it's bad. Now,
what does science say, Aaron? What have you read about science, and what exactly is it? Is it talking about just meat in and of itself, certain types of meat with fat?
Okay, so what we have is. Let's see though. So because it could really deal with the amounts, because what happens is we have our number one killer in America is heart disease, and heart disease comes from too much cholesterol, and so which is coming from dairy, meat, eggs, and a lot of people like you want to consider eating a chicken sandwich twice a day. Gluttony, but it's when you're eating meat every day, it leads towards heart disease. I mean, that's just kind of the way that's the way our body works, and also they say it's been linked to the high protein is it like creates something called TMAOs in your body, which attack your pancreas. It can start. It can attack your immune system, and so with the Levites, I would wonder if, because I don't think there's a problem if your diet is mainly plant-based, probably about 90 to 95%, and you have like a little meat in there here and there, because also the Levites also had the fruits and vegetables, right? It wasn't just the meat that they were given for food. So if they were eating a better, a mainly plant-based diet and still consuming some meat, then I would see nothing wrong with that. But but the high concentration of meat, even if it was back in the day, you still have the animal protein, that science says that too much of it is bad for our bodies. And so that, I think, is the issue I would kind of have with that.
I feel you on that though, as far as the consumption, like eating too much. At that time, they didn't even eat too much anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because gluttony, they looked at that, that's a sin. You know what I'm saying? So you
Right.
eat so much until you about to burst, until you about to burst out of the drink. Yeah, they looked at that like, man,
exercising more. People walked around
working, yeah,
more labor going on, and the animals even living normal lives, and they were walking around more. And then in the book, it tells us to burn the fat off the meat. So maybe that.
I was going to mention the fat part. It does tell you not to be consuming the fat. So right there is your cholesterol. And I think the over intake would allow, I think your body can handle a certain amount of the meat, like y'all said, but when you overdo it, your body just can't process, and that's how you get that build up in your veins. And it all ties in,
that's the American standard way. You got breakfast time, bacon and eggs, sausage, and a lot of starch. And then lunchtime, you got turkey and bacon, whatever, burgers and all kinds of stuff. And then dinner time, you got steak and baked potatoes and all kinds of stuff like that. So it's like meat in every single meal all day, plus snacks, plus a lot of people drink sodas, a lot of sugary sodas and sugary drinks and stuff like that. So of course your body gonna be like, what? Overload. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, we're gonna have to do something with this. Your body gonna overwork, and then that's when arteries gonna be clogging up, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. You know what I'm saying? Like all that. That's how all that stuff take place. But
right.
Here's another thing.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, no worries. I was gonna say, here's another thing, because I think it was you, Aaron, that said, which I agree with, obviously, the number one killer for Americans is heart disease. Another contributing factor, see, it's because, again, we're trying to reconcile with the Bible, and the one thing I think we need to take away when all said and done is meat in and of itself does not kill human beings, but yes, the amount will. Just like water in and of itself doesn't kill human beings, but you can die of overdose. You can die of too much water consumption. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Like so anything, even if when it's good for you, right? There's certain things that have the potential to literally kill you. So meat in and of itself isn't a problem scientifically, but the amount. Here's another issue that contributes to the heart disease epidemic that we have. A lot of people don't exercise. Aaron, you talked about cholesterol. You know that when it comes to cholesterol, you have good cholesterol, which is HDL, and you have bad cholesterol, which is LDL.
Yep.
HDL, when there's enough of it in the body, pushes the LDL outside of the body or into the kidneys where it belongs. But if you don't exercise and you continue to eat foods that are high in trans fats, then those LDLs will accumulate in your body, which contributes to high cholesterol, which contributes to heart disease, which contributes to a lot of other things that human beings, that Americans deal with, that they shouldn't. So if you are consuming, like y'all said, 3 meals a day, y'all consuming meats, right? On top of that, y'all not y'all, but the average American, not exercising, eating meat 3 times a day, not even considering eating a salad, fruits, or vegetables, then you already know that their health is going to be compromised. You see what I'm saying?
Right. So because we do have this thing going on, and I'm gonna make one thing clear real quick. So what I'm not saying is that the Bible actually intentionally tells us to be vegan. So when I go to scripture, it's just like, these are things I can see that could align with could align with the vegan diet. And then let me think, what was I gonna say? I totally lost it. But
While you're thinking, Aaron, I'll interject something that's very interesting that we haven't mentioned yet, dealing with Daniel chapter 1, verse 12. When he was in captive in Babylon, he actually refused to eat the meat, or I guess the meat that is talking about here is talking about flesh, because in the contrast to that, in verse 12, it says, prove thy servants, I beseech thee, 10 days, and let them give us pulse to eat and water to drink. And pulse is talking about vegetables. That Hebrew word or Aramaic word there. Yeah. So that's it. And we've already made the point that Daniel didn't know how they were preparing it. He didn't know what he was dealing with. He could have been, he didn't, somebody served you some meat. You don't know exactly what kind of meat it is or what it was prepared with or how it was killed. And so he just refrained in that way. But he let you know right there, just by him eating those vegetables and that water and not partaking of the wine and the meat, that he actually looked better after 10 days than everybody else. So that's not even a long period of time. So if he was looking good, if he's looking 10 days afterwards, he was probably already in pretty decent shape anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
But
what I was going to say.
That's one thing to take. But, hey, where was Daniel, Kevin? What tribe was he from? Does it say?
I don't know, man. Like, that's a good question. I want to say Judah, but I don't think that's correct.
Because I was looking, I couldn't find it real quick. I kind of Googled it, and I couldn't find the answer to that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just thought it'd be interesting if he was from the tribe of Levi. Then he could have been. Well, he was young. He wouldn't have been in the temple yet, right?
Right up to.
I don't know. It depends, because I know Samuel was a Levi and he was in the temple young. You see what I'm saying? So, like, I don't think. I mean, not serving, right? But
yeah.
I'm just talking about like being in.
But the families didn't eat of the sacrifices as well? The priest families, didn't they eat of the sacrifices?
They did. They did eat of the sacrifice. Yeah, you're correct.
So I think that would be interesting to show, because a lot of people go to Daniel to show that he was vegetarian, but that's not really what's going on there. You can't kind of just say he's strictly vegetarian from the text, but he's showing you discernment right there. That would back up the argument that this is a better way to go, especially dealing with the stuff that we have to use.
Like, and that's the thing, like these scriptures are better used towards people who don't see the value of eating a diet consisting highly of fruits and vegetables, right? Because the science is clear. Like, under no circumstances will you be a healthy human being if all you eat is meat. It's just impossible. Like, you have to eat your fruits and vegetables in high amount. And like y'all were saying, if your diet should mostly consist of fruits and vegetables, if not entirely. You see what I'm saying? But like I said, I was only bringing out scriptures just to make sure that we weren't trying to use the Bible to say that eating meat is wrong. That's all.
Right. So what do you think about the so-called carnivore diet?
What's the carnivore diet?
We got that new wave of carnivore diets. So these guys just eating. I don't know if they have to cook the meat or what, but some of them are just eating raw meat. They're like
raw eggs.
Raw meat. Eggs. Like very.
Yeah, I don't sign up for that at all, for a couple of reasons. One, if we're talking about raw meat, I assume that blood is involved, and the Bible speaks against consuming blood. So that's that. If we're talking about yolk from a chicken, right, from an egg, I don't have scriptures to show that that's wrong, but it's for me. See, not every issue for me has to be biblical, right? Like some stuff is just, that's just not a good thing health-wise to do. So if you want to consume meat, daily and destroy your health and your heart, by all means, go ahead and do so. I don't need the Bible to show you that that's problematic.
Now, would that be a sin according to the Bible telling us to treat our body like a temple? I can't hear.
Well, here's the thing.
If James was talking, but he was muted.
Hello?
Yeah, James was talking, but he was muted.
I forgot I was on mute. Go ahead, Kevin.
Oh, no worries. I was just going to say, like, here's the thing. When the Bible talk about treating your body as a temple, that has wide range. You know what I'm saying? We can't be like, oh, well, eating meat is an example of not treating your body as a temple. No, overeating meat and abusing your body to the point you cause health damage is an example of not treating your body as a temple. Just like smoking is an example of not treating your body like a temple. Just like over consuming water to the point that you die clearly is an example of you not treating your body like a temple if you're doing something that leads to death. So I think anything that is done in excess that causes health problems is something that we should not do, whether that's eating meat or drinking too much water.
Now, and it's dealing with an educated. It's a form, like what is a person's intent. You got a lot of people that just aren't educated on their diet and what it does to their body. They're ignorant to it. Right. Now, at what point do we say it's willful ignorance? Nobody knows, but I think a lot of people, if they took the time to really study this stuff and they realize when you get into the Word, you realize that you need to remain healthy and keep your body in the best possible shape. So you need to refrain from certain. You need to adjust your diet accordingly. Yeah, but I don't think. Yeah, just saying somebody is eating all this calorie-rich and cholesterol-rich food is intentionally damaging their body. But at a point when you become morbidly obese and you're still consuming that stuff and you're in the Word, then somebody should bring it to your attention. That's probably not the best thing to do. So.
Right, and that's what's interesting about a lot of Sunday Christians that say that they're led by the Spirit, and the Spirit, they just live in the Spirit, because you see a lot of and not even I'm not going to say it's just Christians. There's Israelites that are in the same boat, but like a lot of Christians are I don't think they exercise, or some of them are overweight, at least to the point where they're not. It doesn't seem like they're conscious about it. And if you have the Spirit, supposedly, at least the way they say it, and you are damaging your body because you're overweight, then why isn't the Spirit convicting you of that? Why like, that's why I'm confused about when the Christian says that they're led by the Spirit, and yet you got some of these health issues that are related to your diet or exercise, your lifestyle, and the Spirit doesn't convict you of that. That's what I'm.
Yeah, we know. First of all, Aaron, we know they ain't led by the Spirit because they don't understand other concepts either. So
right.
But also, let's. Hey, what do y'all think about John the Baptist diet? Locusts and honey.
Right. Yeah.
Oh man.
And it's funny when you look at it says, I'll read it real quick. It's Matthew 3:4. John's clothes were made of camel's hair, and he had a leather belt around his waist. His food was locusts and wild honey. And it's interesting that word, his food, try to find it real quick. It talks about the word translated food is nourishment, maintenance, by implication, rations. So I don't know if it's saying that's all he ate. I don't know. I don't know what y'all getting from that, but
right.
I mean, you could survive. You could live off that. I mean,
yeah. What do y'all think about insects? Any y'all is that would be considered not vegan, right? Insects.
Yeah, nah.
I wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't do it if I had to. I you know what I'm saying? I eat some locusts or something. You know what I'm saying? If I had to.
How do y'all feel about honey? Y'all get down?
Oh, yeah. That's what me, man. If it's got health benefits, I'm not knocking the honey business. I mean, I guess I would slow down on my honey, because I guess they mess with the bees, and they actually say the bees are very important because they help our vegetation grow well and stuff like that too. So I would caution because of that kind of stuff. But I mean, it's got health benefits, so for me, I'd still use it.
Yeah, it just seems like, a lot of, because I mean, James, I forgot about that one. Yeah, John was out here eating locusts.
I forgot about that too.
He was out here doing that. But I just think what it is, like, kind of like we've been saying, is, everything just has to be moderation, which is something that we as Americans are terrible at. Like Spider, you said, and Aaron, you were saying, I mean, folks out here in the morning time, they grabbing that cheeseburger. In the afternoon, they getting that that quarter pound chicken. You know what I'm saying? Not a vegetable in sight, not a fruit in sight. And it's funny because I got a coworker that kind of eats like that. And, they'll get on me. They'll be like, oh, Kev, you want to come out to eat with us? And I'll ask them, like, okay, where y'all going? And they'll say, like, some barbecue place. You know what I'm saying? Because down here in Texas, barbecue is massive. So they're like, some barbecue place. Like, nah, man, I'm just going to stay here. I'm going to eat my salad. I'm going to eat my sunflower seeds, my walnuts. I'm going to call it a day. And, I just see the way that one dude in particular eats. And I remember somebody asked him, like, hey, man, you probably get some, like, fruits and vegetables in that. And he was kind of like, oh, well, you only live once. You only live once, et cetera.
Yep.
But here's the thing about it. See, what I find is people who don't want to eat right and don't want to eat healthy, they'll say things like, oh, you only live once, until they go to their doctors and their doctor tell you got high cholesterol and high blood pressure. Now they want to double back, you know what I'm saying, and start looking up, what these walnuts supposed to do, what this oatmeal supposed to do, what this fruits and vegetables supposed to do. But it usually takes some health problem before they see the light of day.
And that's what's interesting about the health problem issue, actually, is when we focus more on the plant-based diet, we don't need man-made medicine. We start to get healing out of God's creation.
Yeah, they've talked about the cancer thing, man. Dealing with the change in your diet is more successful and more beneficial than actually chemo. Like your success rate is almost just as high, if not better, if you just adjust your diet, start eating, plant-based stuff or whatever. I think what I'm sitting here thinking about stuff. My kids eat very unhealthy, and I'm their parents, right? So we allow them to just eat chicken nuggets, French fries, like all the time, because they're just kids and they don't want to eat nothing else, right? So I was sitting here thinking, what am I doing to my children? You know what I'm saying? Like y'all can approach people like with this concept of we don't want our children out here doing drugs, drinking alcohol, doing stuff like that. So we teach them those things are wrong, but yet we feed them unhealthy food and give them those habits that are going to be even harder to break when they get older. So I'm sitting here contemplating how in the world am I going to get my kids to start eating healthier, because I want to do it. You know what I'm saying? I want to take it as far as I can take it, but I need to start somewhere. And
I understand that, man, because in my household, I'm the only one in my household who's vegan. You know what I'm saying? Like my two daughters, you know what I'm saying? My wife, they not vegan. They still eat whatever. But my youngest daughter, she eats more vegetables and fruits and stuff like that than my oldest daughter. See, my oldest daughter, my oldest daughter remember me when I was eating meat. My youngest daughter don't have ever seen me, meat, period. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So she be like that. She be going vegan like 2 weeks, vegan or whatever, no meat for like 2 weeks. My oldest was like, no, I'm still eating meat, whatever, regular. You know what I'm saying? My wife, she just eat meat and everything regular. But, dealing with that for these years or whatever, I'm used to it now. That's why people are like, oh, my bad, I'm sorry, I got this food right in front of me. Not to worry about, I'm used to that. You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna give me, it smell good. Don't get me wrong, the chicken and all that stuff do still smell good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Some vegans
I'm surprised your wife ain't got on board, man, because she's got to see like the positive aspects in your life and how it's changed your life physically and probably mentally. So what's taking her so on board? Was she just
she in her way? Everybody their own person, and if you got a way of thinking in your mind, she won't even want to fast. You know what I'm saying? Like, remember, let's fast for like 24 hours. You know what I'm saying? No, I can't go that long without eating nothing. You crazy? Yeah. Right. I'm like, dang, but everybody got their own mindset. You know.
But you know what? Like Spider, you just brought something up, man, because when you talked about the fast, and I know y'all know about this, but actually over the last several weeks, I've been buying like a lot of different ingredients because I like to drink smoothies, but I want to really like supercharge my smoothies. So I got all my berries. You know what I'm saying? I got my pea protein. You know what I'm saying? I got my chia seeds. I got a whole bunch of stuff I'm gonna throw in this smoothie, all obviously vegetable and fruit based. But I remember reading like for people that want to kind of detox and fast, maybe do a juice fast, like in order for them to really be successful at it, they got to get the proper nutrients in before they embark on that path. So like when I'm listening to you talk about your wife, if she's eating unhealthy, maybe she kind of gotta ease into like the vegan diet. Maybe not go raw vegan. Maybe just start off with like more vegetables and fruits. And at some point in time, maybe the body be ready for her to fast. You know what I'm saying? She might not be ready for that nutritionally speaking.
She went vegan for 2 weeks with my youngest because she ain't want my youngest daughter to be doing it by herself. But as that 2 weeks was approaching, she was irritated like a mug. She was like, "Oh man, I can't wait till she want to eat some meat again." Because my youngest daughter's going hard. You know what I'm saying? My wife, she's like, man, I can't wait till she just say I want to eat some meat, mommy. I want to eat some meat. I can't wait till she say that so I can go ahead and eat. And then like 2 weeks hit past or whatever. It was a couple days after. My youngest was like, all right, eat some meat. And then my wife's like, yes. She want to get back to it. It's a mindset. You know what I'm saying? If you really want to do it, you gotta really want to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's like you could show people, you could tell people that it's healthy. They can see the results of it, and they can know the benefits and everything. But if you don't want to do something, you ain't going. You know what I'm saying? You just ain't going to do it. You know what I'm saying?
I think the key to being successful in the very beginning is I did a little research. I've been looking into this for a while, but just on the surface, I see that it's all about you got to eat some stuff that's going to satisfy you, that's going to sit in your stomach. Like you mentioned, avocados, maybe like peanut butter or peanuts. These things will actually satisfy you when they get inside of you. If you're just eating like lettuce and spinach and rice and beans. Rice and beans are kind of filling. But what I'm saying is you got to get something in your system that's going to gratify you, just going to give you that, that little, like you ate something. You know what I'm saying? Because I
feel what you said. I did a 40-day fruitarian challenge. You know what I'm saying? And that's nothing but fruits.
That's crazy.
Every day, nothing but fruits. You know what I'm saying? For 40 days, I did it and completed it. And it was cool. You know what I'm saying? It was cool. Like, man, it was cool. You stay hydrated all the time, and fruits are detoxing anyway. So you know your inside's clean. You know what I'm saying? For the whole 40 days, I went through it, and it was no point. You know what I'm saying?
So do you lift Spider? Do you lift weights?
Yeah, I lift weights, but I don't lift them too much like that. I lift them. I do a lot of calisthenics. You know what I'm saying? Like push-ups, sit-ups, and dips, and you know what I'm saying. And I run. You know what I'm saying? I ran a marathon, 26.2 mile marathon. I ran that. I'm a runner for real. So I get like a lot of cardio and stuff in for real, and body weight exercises. But I told myself.
You never have any problems with the muscles, cramps, or anything like that? Nothing?
Nah, none of that. Because the fruits are hydrating foods. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They got great water content in it. The water content in the fruits are excellent.
I was just telling my friend about this guy right here. I sent you guys a picture in the group message. This guy his name is Ferris. That's his last name. Kendrick Ferris, who is the only male weightlifter from Team USA to qualify for the Rio Olympics. And he was a vegan.
Vegan, yep. Oh yeah, I know, man. One of my ox, he vegan bodybuilder. You know what I'm saying? He get it in.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like, you know
this guy was wearing his fringes too.
Yep. I remember that.
Posted a
Bro,
picture.
he was not small. That dude was not small at all.
Right.
Yeah. People think since you're vegan that you'll be small and stuff like that. You don't have to be small. You know what I'm saying? Me, I'm slim and trim. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a runner. So of course I'm a burn big calories. You know what I'm saying? But that's why my smoothies and what I eat consume a lot of calories, so I can rebuild them calories up. You know what I'm saying? You got to have the calories. Some people think that if you vegan or you raw vegan, that you can have, like, when you wake up in the morning for breakfast, you can have like a banana, 2 bananas, or one banana and a little thing of grapes or something, and think that's gonna be good and wonder why you hungry. You gotta consume
right.
Yeah, right.
I tried, man. I can't do that, man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta consume some, you know what I'm saying, some food. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get your calories in. You know
what helped me with the diet a little bit is if you can see, there's a app called the Daily Dozen, and it goes through the categories and it kind of gives you an idea what you what you got to consume and how many servings. And that's kind of helped me a lot, because sometimes I would be like, man, what should I eat? And then I even got like a diagram that just kind of a diagram of one of this guy's health guides. And if you're trying to get beans, he gives you ideas of what you can do to get beans in your diet and stuff like that. So it took me a lot of like, I would look at videos, what I eat in a day by this vegan or that vegan. And yeah, it took a decent amount of research and some, repetitiveness and some little bit of routine for me to kind of really get the glimpse of it. And for me, I try to make things like as easy as possible. So I even made like a diet plan that makes it easy, at least in my opinion, where I would start out the day with green tea, and then and then about a half hour later, they say to wait a half hour because it'll block the nutrient absorption. So I wait about a half hour later and drink my smoothie that has the berries, the fruit, the walnuts, the flax seeds, cinnamon, and almond milk. And then a little bit later, I'll have like some rice and beans with my cilantro and onion. Then I might have like another fruit for a snack, and then my dinner. So I really kind of only eat like one actual dinner meal, and then everything else is kind of like a little snack, if you want to call it.
That's on point. That's on point right there.
Aaron, what's your
That's
dinner?
another-
Aaron, what do you eat for dinner?
So let's see. So the other day I had, what was I trying to get in my body? So, because the weird thing is, so the other day I had a smoothie and I had a side of greens. Like because that's what according to my daily dozen, that's what I needed to get in. But sometimes my girl make a vegetable soup. My girl's mom made a tomato and vegetable soup once. We make vegan lasagna. You could take a lot of meals that you're already used to and just make it vegan.
Right.
Vegan spaghetti, you know what I mean? Yeah, stuff like that. Maybe like a little pasta you can make the pasta with the vegan, just vegetables and then spaghetti. And then every now and then I'll go online and be like, all right, vegan dinners, and try to get like an idea of I recently had some vegan walnut tacos. Them stuff was good.
Vegan walnut tacos.
Yeah, they make like the so-called meat is like made with walnuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fire. Yeah, try that. Hey, Spider, I got a verse you could a verse you could tell your wife. Just a little joke. It says 1 Corinthians 8:13 says, therefore, I'm living. This is a new international version. I'll go to King James. Actually, no, I won't because it's harder for me to read. But all right, so therefore, if what I eat causes my brother or sister to fall into sin, I will never eat meat again. So that I would. Tell her it's making you mad, and you're not allowed to be mad.
Nah, you know what I'm saying? Everybody, yeah, no, I know, you know what I'm saying? Everybody do it on time. But when you talking about smoothies or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Do you chew your smoothies?
You know what? That's funny because I was watching you drink your smoothie. I'm like, why is he chewing? And no.
Yeah, it's best to chew your smoothies or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because just drinking it straight down, it's it's better when you do the enzymes in your mouth. Digestion starts in our mouth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when you chew,
right,
your saliva and the enzymes in your saliva help break down the food in your mouth or whatever.
You're breaking up a little bit.
I just can't just drink my smoothie down just regularly. The chia seeds, I got to chew them joints, you know what I'm saying? So when it go down, digestion starts in your mouth. When it gets down in your stomach, it's easier to digest, you know what I'm saying, basically.
Right. One thing I do with my seeds, my flax seeds, I pre-grind those up before I put them in my smoothie.
Yeah, it seems like to me you mentioned
Yeah.
chewing up, man. That's gonna. It also, besides the enzymes, it seems like it would make you feel more satisfied because your brain is sensing you chew, and that's like you're actually eating a meal. So you don't feel like you're being deprived mentally. You know how they say.
Another thing. Go ahead. No, I say what?
I was gonna say they always tell people, chew your food a certain amount of times so you don't overeat. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of ties in as far as you feeling satisfied mentally.
Yep. Yeah, but they tell you to chew your food like that on, purpose, because like I said, digestion starts in your mouth, and then you don't want to just swallow big chunks, chunks of food without it properly chewing it right. That's when you have, your stomach issue, aches, and all kinds of stuff like that, man.
Yeah. Hey, I want to point out again, dealing with John the Baptist, right?
Okay.
Because you see Jesus does a comparison, right? He's talking about how John the Baptist came neither eating nor drinking. And the eating part, I think it's talking about meat. I'm not sure, but y'all can look at it, Matthew 11:18. He says, for John came neither eating nor drinking, and they say he has a demon. So Jesus is comparing this because Jesus is seen sitting at a table eating and drinking wine. So, but they say that Jesus is a wine bibber and a glutton.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that eating is talking about and I don't know, I have to look more into that. But I think the point I was getting at is Jesus is showing you both. You can do both and still be in line. You know what I'm saying? With the Most High. But but it's all moderation. We know Jesus wasn't overeating, gluttony, or getting drunk. So it's all about that that middle ground or whatever in moderation.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of stuff too, as far as moderation go. But a lot of it is the snacks and stuff that a lot of us eat. The chips, the sugary drinks, the candy, all that stuff is combined with the meat. Because I guess if you took out the sodas, took out all that processed stuff, and you was just strictly meat and vegetables and fruits, but none of that extra stuff, I think, if it was less meat and just more vegetables, you'd be straight. You know what I'm saying? You should be straight. But when we add all that other stuff into it, that's when it adds an extra problem. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Kevin you made a statement the other day. I think you texted it out, Kevin, and it really hit home with me. You were talking about how your diet is more important than exercise. Y'all trying to lose weight. You said something to that fact that you need to diet. Your diet is more important. If you sit out here exercising, you ain't really gonna lose no weight if you don't alter your diet. And that's kind of what I do. I don't alter my diet. I be out here running 3-4 miles, still look the same 3 months later.
Yeah, man, don't do that to you. And I tell you this, like the reason why I was saying that is primarily because like my wife's uncle, he was overweight, and he made a conscious decision to say, you know what, like I'm gonna change my diet. So this dude, right, all he did was walk. Like he didn't do nothing else. He just walked around like an old lady would, right? But this dude, over the course of like 30 days, lost, or maybe like 45 days, lost like 30 pounds. But it wasn't because of the walking, dude. It was because this dude ate like nothing but salads, fruits, and vegetables, and drank nothing but water. That's all he did, right? So that's what you got to do, man. Like these brothers are absolutely correct when it comes to just the health benefits. You need to modify your diet, and you need to eat fruits and vegetables. And like I said, I'm not him, but I 100% respect the vegans because they really are on the right health path. You know what I'm saying?
Right. One thing I want to bring up too is anybody that is dealing with heart disease, the only diet that is able to reverse, or that has at least been proven to reverse heart disease, is a vegan diet, or it's no meat. I think the vegetarian may do it, but it was a no meat diet. So if anybody wants to reverse their heart disease, I highly encourage them to do a vegan diet.
Same with cancer. Like there's been studies that I've seen where cancers of the worst kind were reversed with a vegan diet. You know what I'm saying? Raw vegan diet at that. So yeah, it's definitely like if you want to be healthy, man, You know what I'm saying? Like James, you trying to get them LBs down.
Yeah.
You gotta cut it down. Gotta cut it down. Cut that meat out.
Right.
Yeah, if I be out here getting after it, man, I be running my little 7-minute miles and stuff and still be jiggling.
Right.
I want to ask something.
Hey,
What do y'all think about?
You need Aaron got to set you up with.
You broke up, man.
Yeah.
What did you say, Kevin?
Oh no, I was just joking. I was telling James he got to get with you. Get that app. You gotta get my man right. You know what I'm saying? Gotta get him right.
I got him. I'm gonna tell him.
You know how you peek your head in the room like you go into an AA meeting, but you were just in the hallway listening. Like, that was good. That's some interesting stuff y'all talking about, but it's scary. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey.
Hey, you know what? I'm trying to get Josh right, man, because like every time I call Josh, this brother be like, "Oh, hold on, Kev. Yeah, could I order a triple cheeseburger?"
Yeah. Hey, you know your boy was at the doctor the other day talking about his blood pressure was up from slamming.
Yeah, he trying to listen, man. We gotta get Aaron, you got to get my man right, man. Get him on the vegan. Josh's diet is terrible. I know it is.
Yeah.
I got you. I planted a seed last Saturday or 2 Saturdays ago. I told them that the vegan diet, it's a cheap diet. It's one of the cheapest diets. You know how to do it, right?
You got to be smart about it. That's the thing. You got to be smart about it too, man. Some of that stuff is expensive depending on where you go. You have to get it in bulk. You got to make sure it's fresh.
Yeah.
You got to go often too, I'd imagine.
Yeah. For the fruits and vegetables, you got to go often. What were you gonna say, Spider?
Mm-hmm. Nah, I was listening to what y'all say. I forgot what I was gonna say. It'll come back to me.
About it being cheaper. That's cool. Why you thinking?
Or nah? Oh yeah, I mean, with far as that, you know what I'm saying? You know, you either gonna pay for some good food or you gonna pay a doctor bill.
All right.
Yeah.
I remember there was a meme or something. Either pay the farmer or pay the pharmacist.
What?
Right.
Me personally, man, I'm sitting here, you know, just this whole conversation, I'm sitting here contemplating how I'm gonna adjust my diet. I know I'm gonna do something, right? But I'm a realist. I understand in order to make changes to your life, you got to make them at a rate you can maintain, right? Not something you're gonna do for 2 weeks or a month and just fall off the cliff. Mm-hmm. Something you can gradually get into and make a life change. And I don't know, maybe later on down the line I can see myself, but I enjoy, you know, a nice piece of meat every once in a while, but I think I can cut back a lot. And maybe if I saw some benefits and maybe if it changed the way, you know, I felt to the point where I was like, look, I can eliminate that stuff later on down the line, I would probably do so. But I definitely see the benefits and going that route. It's just people need to be smart about how they do it and how they apply it. Don't try to go to 0 to 100 in 3 days. You know what I'm saying? Just make little changes each and every day. Like say, take a meal out. If you eat meat 3 times a day or greasy fried stuff 3 times a day, twice a day, cut it out. That's what I'm going to start doing. Matter of fact, I'm going to start doing my smoothies in the morning and maybe try to push it to smoothies and raw stuff for breakfast and lunch, and maybe get a little meat in dinner or something like that and see how that works out. But hey, I was going to ask you another question, Spotty. You said you ran a marathon, man. What's your time in the marathon?
Man, I completed that thing. That was my first marathon I ran. So I completed it about 4 hours and 53 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's when I completed. So
that's what's up.
Yeah,
man.
It was nice. It was cool. Mile 18 that's when them legs still had the energy to stand, but it's just legs start cramping up. I was like, man, so I had to slow the pace down. And then I finally just it started loosening up, and then I got back into it, and then I completed it. But when I completed it, my legs was like noodles. I was like, dang, I had to sit down for a while, and then like creep my way to the car, whatever, walk real close to the car.
I'm trying to work my way up. I'm working my way up. I got the 4 or 5 miles down. I'm trying to work up to the 10, then maybe to the half marathon. But I tell you what, man, running is one of the if you're good with fasting and diet, you got a good regimen with your diet, you're disciplined with your diet. That's going to help you with running because running is mental. Once your body just wants to stop, but you just got to keep going and you'll actually push through it, and your body will adjust. But your body wants you to stop. Man, my legs just running 3 and 4 miles. Sometimes your legs just want to stop. You know what I'm saying?
See, mine don't be doing that. Like if I do, I got to be like a half a marathon, like 13 miles and up, for my legs to actually like be feeling like, you know what I'm saying, like dang, oh man, but like I want to stop. But you still got the energy and the stamina, but it's just your legs be like but that got to be around that range. It's doing like 3 miles, 5 miles, 6 miles, 10 miles, stuff like that. That ain't, that ain't nothing for real. I got to be above 13 for me to actually feel it. But the benefits of running is great. So I went to the doctor. For regular checkup. So they did my they check your heart and everything and your blood pressure and everything. They're like, wow, your blood pressure, is great. They was like, hold up, your heart rate is real low. Like what do you do? Are you an athlete? Do you play sports or whatever? Like I just run. Okay, because I was like 40. My junk was like 43 beats per minute. Like 42 beats per minute. Like at resting heart rate. You know what I'm saying? Just resting. So yeah.
So what is that? You think running actually just conditions your lungs and your heart rate slows down because you can process that oxygen quicker?
Your heart rate slows down because your heart is stronger. You know what I'm saying? It means you got a strong heart, and your heart don't have to work so hard to push your heart don't have to work so hard to push the blood through your body. You know what I'm saying? It could just ease up. It's strong, so it's just boom, one pump is like, you know what I'm saying? It's just slow. Ain't got to ain't got to do.
You told your doctor you vegan?
Yeah, I told her. And she was like, wow. They always be like, wow, like okay, like that's what they always say. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it was one little it was one little deficiency that I had with vitamin D. My vitamin D was a little low. It was a little low, but that's because when you got melanin in our skin,
that's your skin tone.
Skin tone. Yeah, the melanin. A lot of melanated brothers and sisters have a vitamin D deficiency. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because of that.
Right.
And, you be out in the sun, you gotta get some sun in or whatever.
I don't have that problem. I got my vitamin D.
You taking
vitamin D and whatever causes that sunburn, I get that too, man. So
yeah, and I don't really like taking none of that. I don't take no pills or nothing like that stuff. You know what I'm saying? No prescription medicines or nothing like that. And and that's why I
what about
try
the
to eat
supplements? Like the B12, the DHA, and the
supplements. I take for to get my B12 and stuff. I use spirulina. You know what I'm saying? Spirulina. Okay. Yeah, that got the B12 in it and got the iron, got all the minerals and stuff that our bodies need or whatever. So I use that. I use chlorella.
What about DHA?
I put that in my smoothie. DHA.
Omega-3.
I haven't tried it.
Yeah, what kind of fish oil y'all deal with?
We don't do fish oil. We use.
I don't do no fish.
Yeah, we usually use.
I use hemp seeds.
Oh, hemp seeds.
The hemp seeds. I was thinking about taking a supplement. They have supplements from algae, some vegan omega-3 supplements. Yeah, they. I don't know. At least this doctor that I follow, he encourages it. He says it's not like necessarily a requirement, but he encourages it, and it's been linked to like better brain boostage, and it helps protect against Alzheimer's. So there's some benefit to taking a DHA supplement, and I guess especially when it comes to a pregnant woman, they should be taking that. But yeah, those are only 3 supplements I take. I take a B12, a D3, and the DHA.
Yeah, I just use hemp seeds, chia seeds, fruits and vegetables.
I've heard some things about mixing like fruits and certain vegetables. They kind of react in your stomach. Y'all know anything about that?
Yeah, that's you got proper food combining. You know what I'm saying? If you Google the food combining chart, you can see like melons like how they say recommended, like when you eat watermelon and stuff like that, eat melons alone, like eat them by themselves. You know what I'm saying? You don't mix watermelon and different other fruits together for real.
Right.
You know.
Like
How would you
mono.
know? Like, how would you know what types of
And
fruits?
then like
When you say mix, you mean just anything in general, like eat by themselves?
like together, like you got your sub acid fruits, and you got your sweet fruits. You got different types of. If you pull up, go on Google and pull up the food combining chart, you will see it'll break down like the protein. Like if when you eat protein, like say you eat meat or whatever, it's best to eat proteins with vegetables. You know what I'm saying? You don't mix a protein with a starch like a potato and all that. Like steak and potatoes, that's a bad combination. You don't want that. So if it was like steak and vegetables or burger and vegetables, that's a better combination that go together.
Right.
Melon,
You think steak and potatoes is a bad combination because it's just an overload of something, or they just don't go together well as far as how they digest?
they don't. Yeah, how they digest. They don't go well together. But how they digest the starch and the meat. You know what I'm saying? But you got the meat and vegetables that it'll digest best. The vegetables are help it'll help that meat go there. You know what I'm saying? Go kind of slip straight. You know what I mean?
Because you got the fiber, and then you also have combining foods, like when you combine fat with certain greens and nutrients, like vitamin K is more absorbable when you eat it with fat. I believe the same thing with iron and calcium is better readily available if you eat it with like citrus. So I know that's part of the whole combining thing too.
Yeah. You put up the food combining chart.
Where would this verse fall, and what do you think about this verse in Hosea 2:18? It says, in the day I will make a covenant for them with the. Now we can read more to get a better context, but this is kind of highlight. In that day I will make a covenant for them with the beasts of the field, the birds in the sky, and the creatures that move along the ground. Bow and sword and battle I will abolish from the land, so that all may lie down in safety.
Yeah, I think it's talking about the animals won't be attacking humans anymore. As far as in this general area, I don't know if that's how it's going to be all over the earth, but around Jerusalem, in that vicinity, I don't know where I'm drawing that from. That's just my thoughts. But I think that's what
you're drawing it from Ezekiel. You're talking about like when the birds of the air are going to clean up like the dead bodies, or maybe I'm missing something.
No. I'm talking about the wolf and the lamb shall lie down together, and the child shall play on the cockadite, on the serpents.
Right. Well, this verse seems to be indicating that God is actually making the covenant with the animals. This isn't that.
What verse, Aaron?
Hosea 2:18.
Okay.
And it's in relation, Aaron. If you go read Job 5:22, you will laugh at destruction and famine and need not fear the beast of the earth. So I think it's talking about. I'm just tying that in because that's kind of where I'm taking it. As far as because we see this peace, we see peace between man and animals. As far as, but we still see the sacrifices. See, that's the issue. You can go to Ezekiel 46 and plainly, I'll read Ezekiel 46 just real quick.
Right.
Around the inside of each of the four courts was a row of masonry with ovens built at the base of the walls on all sides. And he said to me, these are the kitchens where those who minister at the temple will cook the sacrifices of the people. Right. So if they're cooking them, they're definitely eating them. They wouldn't be cooking them, just throw them away.
Well, right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, wouldn't that be kind of a part of it? So we have the Levitical priesthood, a sacrificial system as a teaching tool. And also when you're doing the sacrifices, not only are we not going to be gluttons and eat a whole bunch of meat, we will eat the meats because it's so you're not wasting anything. I mean, because we have some Christians that, and I'm not saying this is your guys' position, but we have some Christians that will try to say that God just doesn't care about animals. He He just doesn't care. He doesn't care if we slaughter them. He doesn't, you know what I mean? Like you wouldn't go that far, right?
No.
Well, the thing.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, James.
No, I was just saying no. I just think animals are just not as important as we are. You know what I'm saying? I think they're
Right.
Yeah, it's just that's the way I look at it. But they're not going to live. There's no redeemable soul in an animal. There's nothing there that is they're going to die anyway. So they're temporary. We're not supposed to be temporary. We have the capability to be eternal. Animals don't. So therefore, they're not. God doesn't. I don't think He gets pleasure out of seeing an animal suffer. But we see these animals dying is a cruel act in a way. I mean, you're killing the animal. The animal's not like happy about it. But yeah. But go ahead. That's my thoughts. Go ahead, Kev.
Yeah. Now I was pretty much in line with that. Because I agree. Like obviously, there's a difference between tying an animal up, to use a graphic example, tying an animal up and burning it alive, just for your pleasure. Like there's a difference between that and slitting a lamb's throat, letting the blood drain out, and then using its flesh for a sacrifice, right? Like when you read the book of Leviticus, it shows the priest how to properly sacrifice. You couldn't just do whatever you wanted to do. Like there was a protocol to how the sacrifice was supposed to be killed. But to James' point, like, say what?
No, I was saying, no, just like, no, my bad to interrupt, you know what I'm saying, but it's just a point just popped in my head when you were saying that's a certain way to sacrifice or whatever. Christ is our sacrifice. He is a sacrifice, you know what I'm saying? That's why when he was on the cross, they was going to break his legs and do all that stuff. But no, you can't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Don't do it. He was the sacrifice, so it's no more sacrificing. You know what I'm saying? No more as far as that go. That's the Old Testament now. We're in the New Testament now with Christ. Christ was the sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? The way, the truth, and the life. The only way to the Most High is through Him. You know what I'm saying?
So Spider, just to piggyback, just to ask you a question. So do you believe in the millennium reign? Do you believe in the millennium reign of Christ on earth?
The millennium reign of Christ coming back?
Mm-hmm.
Man, nah, because no man know the day, time, or hour. You know
not when he's coming back. I'm saying during that time period, you read about sacrifices going on when Christ comes back and reigns on the earth for 1,000 years. You read about sacrifices. So if I agree he was the one and only sacrifice to atone for sin once and for all, but we still see these laws being applied in the millennium reign in prophecy, and it's not symbolic. So just to use that logic that that Christ was the once and all sacrifice, that I'm trying to see where you stand as far as the millennium reign.
I don't know what to say about that, because I mean, I don't have no comment on that, like, for real.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying, that's fair. I mean, if you don't have a comment on it, you don't have a comment on it. Just to add to James' point too, even before the millennial reign, like a number of years after Christ died, in the book of Acts, we read in Acts chapter 21. Let me see if this is what I want. 21. Let me see here. Maybe it's 24. Hold on a minute. Yeah, I'm not gonna find it. But basically, it's where Paul had a sacrifice performed for. Yeah, he had the Nazarite vow. He partook of a Nazarite vow, which, if you go back to Numbers chapter 6, I believe, it gives you the details, the sacrificial details of what a Nazarite vow entails. So long after Christ died, we see sacrifices being performed, which obviously would involve animals. But point being is, because I want. Oh, say what?
Nah, I was just thinking when you said that, a lot of them were still believing, still in their mindset, had the veil over their eyes, still doing the Old Testament, stuff. know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but Paul didn't have no veil over his eyes. He wouldn't have been playing a role to just please them. He called Peter a hypocrite for doing that. So he wouldn't have been doing that himself. He wouldn't have did something just to appease somebody. He kept it 100. You know what I'm saying? If the sacrifices were no good and you shouldn't do them anymore, he would have been the first one to say it. He wouldn't have. There's a lot of verses that people use to try to say that he kind of got on their level just to appease them and kind of bring them along slowly. That's not what it's talking about. He's talking about like people having different understandings at different levels. But Paul, you know, he wouldn't have did something to please Jews. You see what I'm saying? If the sacrifice shouldn't be performed, or if Jesus if that would have done away with the sacrifices on earth, he would have said something. And I think this goes, and I didn't mean to interrupt. I just want to get my thought out, Kevin.
Oh, you're good.
When you're dealing with I think what's going on in the millennium reign, just to kind of explain where I think what's going on, is you still have flesh on the earth, because we see in the millennium reign there's still human people, flesh. And I don't know what your view is on in the resurrection. It says we will be like the angels. We'll have these celestial bodies. We won't need to partake of these fleshly ordinances, because Hebrews says they're fleshly ordinances in the sense that they're still going to be needed as long as there's flesh on the earth. When there's no more flesh on the earth, then the sacrifices won't be needed anymore. They serve a purpose for the flesh that's on the earth in the earthly temple. So that's why I think because the sacrifice is still going on, you know, because a lot of people, my dad and my parents always have a problem with that. I try to explain to them that, look, we got to kind of justify, or we got to reconcile this stuff that we read in prophecy. It's not symbolic. They're talking about literally cooking sacrifice, and they're talking about sacrificing animals, and this is when Christ comes back. So you got to kind of reconcile that and figure out, if you go to Hebrews, you can kind of read what those animal sacrifices were for. Yes, they pointed towards Jesus, but they can also point back towards what he did, and it almost speaks like they're a cleansing of the flesh. And Christ's sacrifice cleanses your spirit. It allows your spirit to be cleansed. But those animal sacrifices are still needed for flesh, because people are walking around in the flesh. But that's yeah.
More sacrificing animals. We sacrificing our own flesh. That's what we got.
Say again? You breaking up, Spider.
Yeah, I didn't hear him either.
Yo, you can hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you, Aaron. I can't hear Spider. He's froze up.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
There you go.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah.
He froze up. He's froze up again.
Try moving around a little more.
Yeah, he might be in a part of the house that's giving him some connection problems.
Gotta find that hot spot.
Right.
There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just saying, appreciate it. It was on point. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to take care of some stuff, knock out some things or whatever. But, man,
I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, bro. Appreciate you being on here with us.
Yeah, it was good talking.
Man, appreciate y'all, brothers, man. We're gonna have to do it again. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure.
We'll be jumping on here every now and then, so we could always send you an invite. You could just come through and dialogue. It's whatever, could be whatever topic, you know.
That's what it do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? All praise to the Most High. Y'all brothers be blessed. And I message you whatever about the video. I don't know how you gonna post it up or whatever, but yeah.
Yeah. I can send it to you, and I'll send you the link, and then you could just post it.
All right, that's what it do.
All right, Spider. Peace, man. Talking to you, man.
All right.
All
Shalom.
right, brother.
All right.
All right, peace.